Yo, it's Friday night, 9 p.m. sharp. You know what time it is.
NarcoCop and Timothy hitting you with that Lambo energy.
He's Mike by name, but the streets call NarcoCop. Used to bust dealers, now he's busting long shots. Retired badge, now he's bad with the bets. Octagon fiend, cashing slips, no regrets. Friday night fight, Seki poured on ice. Lambo Plays podcast, breaking down the price. Got parlays, KO, subs in round 3. Split decision magic, cash it like a G. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KO's a B, round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big, LFG. Tim Troiano, lotion in hand. Tennis coach by day, fight fan of the land. Watching WMMA, yeah, you know the drill. Playing with himself, just joking, but still. Impressions fly, Katona in the house. Roses Jr squeaking, Tim's loud like a mouse. Cornholio vibes, he's stealing the show. Narcos like bruh, but they still go toe to toe. Round 2 chaos, round 3 gold. Split decisions, bets unfold. Side case sipping, parlays lit. Lambo energy, never quit. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KOSOB, round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big, LFG. NarcoCop, Timmy T, Friday nights, a Lambo Plays podcast. Where long shots live large, and splits hit harder. We out. We out. We out.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to NarcoCop MMA. This is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 165, UFC Seattle. We have a 13-fight card here with the main event being Joe Pyfer versus Israel Adesanya. We need to see Israel getting back on track, or is he probably done if he loses, man? I would be very surprised if he even come back if he lost this main event. So it's very interesting from that aspect. Tim has just joined us, so he is in the house. With that being said, I'm going to go and shout out the chat really quick. Elijah one, first one in here. Let's effing go. Guys, I'm not covering my baldness. It's here, by the way, but I went to the gym and I was sweaty and I wear this shit. Narco, I gotta be real. What the hell is that? Okay, so that's an AI thing. I don't know. The AI fucked it up. I know. I saw it later, and I'm like, what the hell? It looks like my head is bulging out. It's fucking hilarious. Dixon says, Narco, thank you for making 50% of Discord. For Discord, I joined, and I hope others took advantage as well. Is there any more spots open that can people can sign up? I think there were 16 remaining. It's still live, I think, until tomorrow. So yeah, there is. Use the code Dixon. You know what? Let me put the link in here since you mentioned it. I wasn't even going to do it, but now that you mentioned it, why not? Let me put the link in here. It's 50% off because of, honestly, it's because of Dixon. I didn't even make it, but during my other show, he's like, Narco, is there a promo code this week? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll make one under your name just because you said that. All right, here it is. I will attach it here in chat. If you guys see it, it's in there now. I posted it. Use that link. It's under Dixon, and yeah, it's in there. We are so back, says Sharp Boy. Azure is in here. Group goal. Let's get NarcoCop to 5K subs by the end of April. Please show your appreciation to Mike and Tim by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you so much. Yeah, 3.3K. We're growing. So All right. Appreciate everybody. Kyle Larson says, let's effing go. Pretty good card with some good matchups. I agree. Farrah Fowler says, I lost a 3-fight parlay for $850 because of that LaRon Murphy scam. I need to make some money on this card. I hope we make it together. Sorry about that. Tough one. Yeah, that was a tough one. Daz, let's effing go. Seattle Fudge and Loons. Tim DePietris, not UFC, but how about these MM games? Yeah, these March Madness games have been really, really good. Oreo Bets, what up, though, my friend? MMA Tard, when the music kicks in, you know we finna cash a ticket or 10. Appreciate you, my friend. 2 lotion fights this week, Tim, says Dixon. So there's your 2 bottles right there. Those look like baby lotion. I don't know what kind of lotion he's giving you over there. But either that's baby lotion or some kind of strawberry flavored lotion. I don't know. Or scented, sorry. Who else is in here? Fireside, what's up, my man? Boogie Down, what's up, bro? Trouble in here, what's up? DAO7, Joseph, he's done for sure if he loses to Pyfer, no doubt. I think so as well. Eric Will, Izzy look rough on the scales. We can talk about that in a bit as well. Rashid, what's up? Bunch of good live spots for tomorrow. All the best, everyone. Yeah, it's a good live spot every week, it seems, for the most part. Tim, it's cucumber and watermelon, by the way. That's some fucked up color for cucumber watermelon, but it's there. It's pink. OG Herb says, unsolicited review. I love the Discord, bro. I like that. I appreciate that. I know he just joined because of my weekly breakdown thing, because of Dixon. I added it, and OG just joined, and I'm glad you like it, dude. Like, forget about the bets I give out. Let's say that everything else in that Discord is really, really good. Everybody's really close. No one talks shit to some, the other. And then you'll see tomorrow when we live bet as well. You're going to love the live betting aspect of the Discord tomorrow when we go live for the entire card. So, yeah, glad you joined. Tried to get by for 130, but I watched him cock his right hand and just run after a boost with his hands completely down, measuring. All power, size, 0 technique. Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that in a bit. All right. Tim, I didn't let you talk because I went through the motions. You need to let something shit go. You need to let that shit go. All right. You need to let that shit go, the Buddha said. Are you ready to break this card down here?
Yes, sir. Let's get it done.
Man, his internet looks pretty good today, guys. Let's cross our fingers. I don't know what's going on. He's not glitching. He looks very clear right now. Who knows what happens in the next hour or so, but I'm gonna keep my fingers and legs crossed in the meantime. All right. First fight of the night, Tim. It is in the women's strawweight division, and it is the 11-6-1 Bruna Brasil versus the 13-1 Alexa Thainara, and currently Thainara is a huge favorite, -800, and the comeback of +550 on Bruna Brasil. Kick us off here. Lotion fight a little bit, halfway, 3/4 way, whatever way you want it to go. Yeah, give us your take on this matchup here.
I like this fight to start off. Got a good WMA rematch here. Years and years ago, Thainara got choked out in round 3, standing guillotine. I think they're just completely different fighters now. I think Bruna Brasil has shown that she really doesn't like any type of pressure, doesn't really like to get hit very much. I think the line is just, slightly wide just because of, WMA banana peel type shit. But I think Thainara's got her covered in this fight. Just the reactions from Bruna Brasil and just like how she runs away from fights, takedown defense versus similar opponents, and just the physicality difference here in this fight is just massive to me. I think Thainara is gonna beat her ass pretty much as long as the fight lasts, and I'm gonna take stabs at round 2 and round 3 for Thainara, and I'm gonna go whisper bet off of the get-go. I'm gonna say round 2 KO plus 2,700. Round 3 KO plus 4,000. I wouldn't be shocked if it's a sub. Obviously, I think that's the more likely path. But I think the pressure and just big strikes or just like TKO, ground and pound position, things like that in round 2, 3, I think it's live. I think Sousa, the last fight versus Bruna, hurt her multiple times and then just clinched up. I think that Thainara doesn't necessarily do that in this fight. So, yeah, give me round 2, round 3, and small stabs at KO 2-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this pretty short here. And the reason why is I'm a Bruna Brazil backer. I've backed her a couple of times, good spots. I think Molly McCann was one. It was a great bet. She was a dog. She looked great. But the thing that I see over and over with Bruna Brazil is she doesn't like pressure. She doesn't like aggressive fighters, right? In general, she likes to kind of dictate her circling and kicking on the outside and kind of dictate at her own pace. And this is a very bad matchup for that because Alexa Thainara is going to come. She's going to swing big shots. She has very, very good leg calf kicks. You know, she throws those things very, very hard. I'm not sure she's going to land them really well against Brazil. She could land a couple, but I just feel like the pressure, the aggression, the physicality, all these things are going to give Brazil a lot of problems here. She's taking this fight on short notice. UFC obviously like this Thainara girl, in my opinion, just because of how, you know, she does that dancing. She's pretty aggressive. And last fight, honestly, what stuck out a lot about Thainara is she went a lot more to the ground and pound last fight. Like she threw 12-6 elbows. She threw a bunch of ground and pound, you know, which I like to see. She didn't get the finish against Loma, and Loma's tough, but you could see the ground and pound. It was there. Her Dana White's Contender Series fight, she hurt that girl Rose on the feet very bad. And I want to say round 1, she hurt her pretty damn bad on the feet. And what we have seen from Brazil is that, you know, she can get knocked out. She's got 3 knockout losses. Denise Gomes absolutely put her down, and then she just kind of shelled up with the ground and pound. If Thainara gets to like these good positions on the mat, I think she can even ground and pound just that way, you know? So I'm just going strictly KO plus 950. Probably happens later. It wouldn't necessarily be early. Thainara obviously doesn't have any KOs. She's got a bunch of submissions. I don't know if it's going to be easy to submit Brazil. She's pretty competent on the mat. She's training at the Fighting Nerds, so I think she knows what she's doing down there. But yeah, I mean, if it's a finish, most likely it's sub, but the sub price is way off compared to the KO, and it's obviously because Thainara doesn't have any KOs, you know. But the other side, you know, she's been KO'd 3 times, so yeah, plus 950 is plenty enough for me. I don't want to get greedy. Yeah, I like your 2-3 big prices, but I just don't want to get greedy with 950. I think it's, you know, if I had to pick a thing, how I think she wins, most likely, I think it's decision. But like sub a little bit higher than KO, but not by that much. It's way too much, I think, in my opinion. MMA tarts 2-3 easy peasy. That's also not bad. What's the price on just 2-3? I didn't even look at that.
2 is plus 650. 3 is plus 11.
That's gross, bro. For women's MMA, that is absolute. I could not play that. There's no way you can sell me for 650, 1,000. Jesus Christ, what's happening with these lines lately? That's gross. I learned that Brazil switched camps. They have to know her weaknesses. I learned. What does that mean? I'm very confused. Fireside, if you can tell us what that means. Are you saying she switched camps for this fight and they know her weaknesses? I don't know. Or you mean they know Thainara's weaknesses? I think he's saying Brazil's back to the wall. Maybe she's on her way off. We see this nonstop with double loss fighters have to win. Thainara beat up on smaller women. She's talented, no doubt, but no. Okay. I think he's talking about Brazil and her new camp, I guess. I didn't see a new camp, but maybe you might be right. You might be right. Tim, the Scottsdale, Arizona treadmill team is here, by the way. Just letting you know. And they say click the like button for family. It's free. So please, guys, click the like button like the Scottsdale, Arizona treadmill team is saying, you know. Joseph says, I mean, Brazil fought like 2 months ago. Doubt she's going to make any meaningful adjustments. She's not, dude. She just doesn't like aggression. That's what I see from her tape. Like, look at her losses. Look at who she's losing to. And what's the common denominator with a lot of those girls? Like, they're just aggressive, you know? So, all right, let's move on, Tim. Fight number 2. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 17-6 Adrian Yanez versus the 22-7 Ricky Simón. Currently, Ricky Simón is a minus 175 favorite, and the comeback on Yanez at plus 150. I think this line is kind of crazy. It's getting wide. It's getting too wide, in my opinion. I know I heard an interview with Ricky saying that, you know, he was win away from his wrestling his last couple of fights. He's going to go back to his wrestling for this fight. I really don't care because I think Yanez can get right back up. I think his takedown defense is actually okay. It's pretty good. I think his get-up game is better than his takedown defense. And then on the feet, I just think he's the better boxer. He's the better striker. I know Ricky can mix it up with the takedowns. I know Ricky's competent striker too. I'm not saying he's not. I just feel like Yanez has the much better hands, faster hands. Ricky relies a lot of on hooks and overhands, while Yanez keeps it a lot more tighter with his boxing. Calf kicks, you know, I think it's kind of both guys can land calf kicks, to be honest, because Ricky Simón has a very, very wide stance. So I think his calf could get kicked as well. But I'm going to go with Yanez's decision here, plus 450. I think the line's way too wide for his decision prop. I think both these guys are very durable. I think both these guys are competent when it comes to grappling and jiu-jitsu. I don't think it's going to be easy if Ricky Simón gets on top or something to sub a guy like Yanez. So I think decision at plus 450 has some value to it. It's $3 more than his money line. And yeah, I'm just going to give that. I think Yanez by split at 12-1 is good as well, if you want to get in on that. Because if you look at Yanez's career, that's the other thing. He's gone to a lot of split decisions, guys. Let me see here. Last fight, Marco split. Davey Grant split. The one before that in LFA split. The one before that in LFA split. By the way, I got news for you guys. You want to hear something crazier than what I just read off, Tim? The last four fights for Adrian Yanez that have gone to decision have all been splits. So there you guys go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth in this fight all week. Initially I had Yanez by decision and split as well. I thought that those were really good. So I liked that you're on that path. I'm going to take the other side, which is a huge number that I think I just think it's way too big for this fight. And that's Ricky Simón by submission at plus 1,100. I just don't think that we've seen Yanez really grapple against like elite grapplers and elite wrestlers yet. Miles, people talk about the Miles Johns fight. It's like, yeah, okay, but Miles also gasses and doesn't have nearly the same submission acumen that Ricky Simón has. I mean, Ricky's subbed some really elite dudes. And I think that I just think that the top time and like if you're getting up and you're continually getting up, then he's going to have a chance to take his back and he's going to have a chance to get the hooks in and things like that. So I just think it's a huge, huge line. Like I said to start, I think the Yanez by decision is really good because I think if he is struggling to get him down, I think Yanez is going to have better boxing. And he's going to probably have some cleaner shots. But I like you said, he doesn't separate very much in the fight. He's going into Ricky's hometown as well. So there could be some tomfoolery there for the decision. So that also hooks up your split. But I'm going based on the level grapplers that Yanez has shown that he's got takedown defense and get ups and all that. I don't think that they're at Ricky Simon's level, not to this point. So I do think Ricky isn't the same level that he was 2-3 years ago. I think I would be betting it, really big or betting him. much bigger at that stage in his career. But I still think he has what it takes to take down Yanez and to just like get him on the cage and eventually get him down and cage push him until he can get him down. So yeah, give me Ricky Simón by submission here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. You're taking a shot on something that, is potentially get takedowns and stuff like that. Ryan says Ricky's takedown and control 2-3. All he needs, Ricky Simón decision, might get Tim a sub. Yeah. I'm ready, says Bill Fay. Let's effing go. He's hyped up. I love it. MMA Tart says, I think the Ricky takedown ladder will feed families if he implements the wrestling. That could be. We're going to have to look at everything is price dependent, but yeah, I mean, that's something we could look at. All right, let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 14-2 Bruno Lopes versus the 8-0 Navajo Stirling. And currently Navajo Stirling minus 650 with the comeback on Bruno Lopes at plus 475. And you can kick this off here, Tim. Light heavyweight division.
This fight is tough for me. From a props perspective, I think most likely what's going to happen just from a speed is going to be massively favoring Navajo Stirling here. Bruno's win condition is takedowns, cage push, and being able to stall and not get hit for 15 minutes. I don't think that he's going to have the athleticism and the speed to be able to cut off the cage on Stirling without getting hit. And on the opposite side with Stirling, like I think we both have had him to get knockouts for his guys where he's clearly getting set up spots and he's going to decision with everybody. The decision prop is like plus 420, but to me, I think that's like wolf tickets, honestly, in this fight. Lopes is getting dropped by jabs. He's getting finished by, Ribeiro and by Dustin Jacoby. Ribeiro hits hard, but like, again, I just think that he's just hittable and reacts really, really bad when he gets hit. So, the KO prop alone is minus 160, which is, I can't give out, but it's basically taking a shot on which round you think he gets the KO. And for me, honestly, I think it's either one or two. I think he's going to, as soon as he hits this guy a few times, I think it could be over shortly thereafter. So I think it's plus 290 and plus 390 on KO1, KO2. I think they're kind of shitty lines depending, but I think it's possible that they hit. Probably won't bet on this fight.
Yeah. I mean, Navajo Stirling is carrying people to decisions. This is 3 fights in a row. However, like the one fight against what's his name? I mean, it should have been probably stopped against Urslan. I don't know if you remember that towards the end, like he fucking murdered him. And then last fight, I mean, he landed some really good shots. He buckled Bellato quite a bit. But Bellato's so tough, man. Like he is really, really tough. And I think Bruno Lopes is like, he is he's one of those Walmart versions of Bellato, even lower. He's a thrift store version of Bellato. Very slow, not as tough, not as much power, not as dangerous. All those things. I think based on how Bruno Lopes fights and how slow he is, I don't think he's that good of a grappler. I don't think he can get down Stirling either. He's gonna be there to get cracked, and you mentioned 1-2. I'm gonna go 2-3 at plus 190. It sucks, not a good price, but I truly believe Navajo is gonna knock this guy out. Like I don't really like his chin that much. Dana White's Contender Series, he got dropped. He got dropped with a jab against the kickboxer. He got freaking knocked out against Brenson Ribeiro. So this guy just doesn't really have a very good chin. He's not like a Bellato type. And at face-offs, he was talking shit to Navajo Stirling, which was funny. He was in a cowboy hat talking shit to Navajo. And I think Navajo's, he needs to show something here. He needs to finish. I mean, they've been giving him perfect matchups for him to win and look good and finish. And quite frankly, he hasn't looked good in all of them, I would say. He hasn't really looked good in all of them. disappointing. He's a guy that kind of, I feel like he takes his time a little bit throwing like big shots. I don't know if he's pacing himself or what the deal is. So I think it says 650. I truly think that's probably accurate. I don't usually like saying that about big chalk. Just don't like Lopes. I don't think Lopes is UFC level, to be honest. I know he got a win against that Gadzi Azulov guy that absolutely gassed per usual, but that guy stinks. He's not good. So, yeah, I think Nebo Sterling 2-3, I guess, plus 190. Shit price, but it is what it is. Sometimes with these big favorites, it's very, very hard to find a prop that is even worth betting, Let's move on. Fight number 4. It is in the women's flyweight division. It is the 10-2 Casey O'Neill versus the 11-3 Gabriela Fernandes. And currently, O'Neill has flipped to the favorite at minus 119, and the comeback on Gabriela Fernandes minus 101. I don't really agree with the line movement. I don't think Casey O'Neill, hasn't fought a lot. Back-to-back ACL surgeries. Has not even looked great, to be honest, even in her fights that she's winning. I mean, Luana Santos, she lost round 1, and then Luana Santos just gassed very, very bad. I do think that Luana Santos took that fight on like whatever, very, very short notice, 2, 3, 4 days notice, and she gassed pretty damn bad there. But the fight before that, I mean, she got dropped like a sack of potatoes against Ariane Lipski and then got subbed. That was 2023. Now off another ACL surgery and off another, 20 plus month layoff, right? How is she a favorite here? Gabriela Fernandes, I know her takedown defense is not great, but I think it's good. I honestly think it's good. I think she's very physical as well. Gabriela Fernandes, I think she hits very, very hard for WMMA. She's a good technical striker. She's a southpaw. Yeah, I mean, I disagree with this line flipping. She's been a lot more active than Casey O'Neill. Her wins have aged really, really well. I mean, Carly Judice, Kong Wang, good-looking wins. Yes, her losses to Bleda and Jasmine, but man, when I roll the tape, those girls are just way more physical than Casey O'Neill to me. And then, Casey O'Neill on the feet, yeah, she throws good volume, but she's throwing good volume against girls that cannot crack. These girls that she's fighting, Roxanne Marafari, Jennifer Maya, they can't crack. She's not going to be able to throw a lot of volume here and not get hit with something really hard. And the last time she fought a girl that hits hard, she almost got knocked out and then got subbed. So give me KO here on Gabriela Fernandes at plus 600. I don't normally like betting women KOs, but Gabriela Fernandes can crack, man. And she is in very, very good shape. If you look at the weigh-ins, excellent shape, looking really, really good. I think she's going to finish Casey O'Neill.
Yeah, we see this one the same. I feel like the Lipski to me, striking wise, is I don't think she hits as hard as Fernandes does, but I think they have similar styles of like countering and making people pay when they come straight into the pocket and fighting and not fighting like at range. Like the Carly Judice fight was very similar to that, where like Carly just kept coming into range, and as soon as she was just popping her every single time that she got into range and was just waiting for her to just dart in. And I think that's pretty much Casey O'Neill's striking style. Is she's not a rangy striker. Like she gets off volume because, like you said, like she goes right into the pocket in a phone booth with fighters and then isn't afraid of them hitting her. And then she just basically, hopes that they gas and maybe gets them down to the ground is like her typical win condition. I don't think I think this fight it seems really similar to me to the Lipski fight. Lipski's not a physical girl who can be taken down and grappled and shit on if she gets down to the ground. And I think that that's similar. And most people are trying to do that versus her. And I think Gabriela Fernandes is exactly the same, is the exact like archetype fighter. And I just, like you said, I just think the physicality is pretty big. Coming off of 2 knee surgeries is horrible. Huge layoff. Yeah, I think KO for me as well. Plus 600 is a good way to go.
All right. Let's move on. Fight number 5. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 27-10 Marcin Tybura versus the 17-3 Tyrell Fortune. Currently, Tyrell Fortune minus 135, and the comeback on Tybura at plus 115. Tim, you can kick us off with the big boy.
Yeah, I'm going back. I'm going to probably ask you at the end of this one which one I should go with, because I have 2 sides, and I keep going back and forth, man. I just like
do it. Do not do it. Pick one side. Do not do it.
Well, the thing is my brain is telling me to bet Tybura at 2-3, and saying that Tyrell Fortune, where he has major advantages in athleticism and probably is a better wrestler initially, has speed, power to knock out Tybura early. Then I go like, okay, this guy is wilted in later in fights, and later in round 1 in fights, when he doesn't get his game off. He seems to be a good hammer and a bad nail. I go the 2-3 Tyburas are huge lines, and then I go heavyweight fight. I think at this point my style of, if these heavyweight fights get out of like round 1, I just think that they go to decision a lot more often. From Fortune standpoint, I think that his winning, he can knock him out early, or maybe he can point him to a decision. But I'm going to go with the Tybura round 2. Round 3 eventually gets on top and starts to shit on Fortune in round 2 and round 3. But yeah, it's been tough for me. I've been going on the fence in this one all week long.
Yeah. It's just this matchup. It's like, I get that people are kind of like shitting on this guy Fortune because he's looked bad in some fights. He got heel hooked by a heavyweight, obviously bad look against Sergey. He looked very bad in the Daniel James fight after he got on bottom. Daniel James finished him basically with elbows. And then even the first Sergey fight, where he was kind of just getting cooked, honestly. If it wasn't for those back of the head shots, probably he's going to get finished. And then he left PFL and then got on a 3-fight win streak versus low-level opponents and finished them all. But they're low level. It's the 2 Dennis brothers and like 60-year-old Tony Lopes, which is weird that he even took that fight. But the problem with this fight for Tybura, in my opinion, is at what part of MMA is he actually better than Fortune? I don't think he's a better striker than Fortune. I don't think he's a better wrestler than Fortune. I think the only thing he has better is jiu-jitsu, right? Fortune is a good wrestler, very, very good wrestler. I think he's pretty athletic for heavyweight. He moves pretty damn well, hands up, good shots, albeit he's kind of low volume, but he has good shots up the middle. He's much faster than Tybura. Can Tybura get the fight to the ground? Yeah, I mean, it's heavyweight. Maybe he gets a body lock trip. I don't think he's getting it to the ground, like if he's going to the legs and shit against a guy like Fortune. I don't think so at all. But Tybura, to me, man, okay, the Denise fight, he ended up on top and eventually finished him. But like Spivak fight, what a terrible look. I had him there. Spivak gets a takedown. Tybura reverses and gets armbarred, bro. You're a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You got armbarred by Spivak in heavyweight. And then you fight this Mick Parkin guy. I don't know if he won that fight, right? And I think I had a bet on Tybura there, like pick him or whatever. And he almost got finished in round 2 via ground and pound by Mick Parkin out of a. And guess what, Tim? Mick Parkin out-grappled him in that fight, which is embarrassing. So he hasn't really looked good. Look at the D'Elia fight. Like bad reactions to punches. Looked very, very bad in that fight. The one thing I will say with Fortune is he takes his time in his fights. He's not really a guy that's super aggro. He kind of takes his time with his shots. He measures them. This is short of a late notice. I think he's got like 2.5 weeks or something. So I think this fight can carry deep into the fight. And I know you have Tybura 2-3. Honestly, I think Fortune has the better cardio of these two guys. Believe it or not. I think Fortune has better cardio than them. If you watch the fight against 2 fights, Marcelo Golem and the Vassal fight, there's a ton of back and forth grappling, man, where he's in bad positions. He's scrambling out of them. He's mounted against Vassal. He's getting out of there. It's a lot. And he kept his cardio pretty damn good in those fights. So I think his cardio is actually better than Tybura's, in my opinion. And then you got to add the fact that Tybura is 40. You know, his cardio is probably even declining. I'm going to go with sneaky look here. Tyrell Fortune by decision plus 650. I do think that, like, most likely outcome is Fortune knocking Tybura out. I don't know what round. I think that's just the most likely, just because of the speed and power. But I wouldn't be shocked if it went to decision, you know. I wouldn't be shocked if Fortune kind of took his time because UFC debut, short notice. He doesn't want to gas. But I like the Fortune side, honestly. I think he's just the more well-rounded fighter at this point in their career, you know. If you told me back when Tybura a long time ago, I would probably go with Tybura because he's a little bit faster. You know, he's not as old. He's not as washed, because I do think he's kind of washed, honestly. So, yeah, I'm just going to go with Fortune here. Decision, 650, maybe. Let's see what we got on the OG says Fortune had no aura at the weigh-ins. He doesn't need aura, bro. He got this guy. He's like, I got this guy. No aura for me. R3 prediction says I like Fortune this week. I don't want to goof this name up, but am I reading this wrong? Or is it something? Is it a joke? I don't even know. Fights and Dive. Okay, it doesn't translate to anything bad. All right. Fights and Dive says, great analysis, boys. Appreciate you, my man. Joseph says, Tybura looks so bad and wash against D'Elia. If it was Tybura from a year ago, I would pick Tybura easy. Dixon says, Narco, what if Fortune chases a round 1 finish, doesn't get it? Does he gas? Yeah, he could for sure. But I've never really seen him chasing these like round 1. Like, has he done that and then gassed and got finished in anything? No. He's actually never been finished outside of round 1, by the way. So, I don't know. Rude one that says Tybura on no bet list. He hammered Fortune and Fortune decision for a couple shekels. Coffee Breakfast says Fortune TKO round 2, round 3, lock it. Tim. And then Dixon says, smash that damn like. All right. Next fight. It's in the lightweight division. It is the 9-2 Lance Gibson Jr. versus the 16-4-1 Chase Hooper. And currently Chase Hooper minus 350. The comeback on Lance Gibson Jr. at plus 285. I am not in the business of laying minus 350 on Chase Hooper versus a guy that has a wrestling background and can grapple some, you know. I just want nothing to do with that. I get it. You know, Hooper, this is a step down, I guess, from what he's been fighting. I would say it's a step down from Hernandez. I don't know if it's a step down from these other guys. Maybe Miller, but Miller's so damn old. But like the thing is, like Lance Gibson can wrestle. He's got a, he wrestled at Arizona State. I think he had a little scholarship there. You can tell he can wrestle. I mean, he's built like a tank. He's short, stocky, has good cardio from what I've seen. For the most part, is that the guy has good cardio. He came in on very, very short notice versus Bobby Green and went 3 rounds. Props to him. He didn't throw a lot of volume, which he doesn't in any fights. He's not really a volume guy, but he's got good wrestling, man. Like he's got good offensive wrestling. I think he has good defensive wrestling. And he's got, technically speaking, his striking is okay. It's good. It's better than Hooper's, technically speaking, right? Couple things going for him. Bigger cage, right? He can circle a lot more. He can use his footwork a lot more against Hooper. Hooper's obviously going to come forward. He's going to spam his kicks. He's going to spam his punches. He's going to run into punches head first for the most part. He might even run head first into the cage going for a takedown. That can also happen with Chase Hooper. His striking is not good, but his wrestling is shittier. So his striking is not good, but his wrestling is awful. How I see this going, Tim, is if Lance Gibson uses good fight IQ, circles, uses his boxing, uses his counter wrestling, doesn't mess around with the grappling, I think he can win this fight. Very winnable fight for him, right? But what I've seen from Lance Gibson is that he likes to wrestle. It's just, I guess, second nature to him, right? He's a wrestler. He wrestles in, he wrestled against Green. He wrestles in a lot of his fights. There's some he didn't. He knocked guys out right away, whatever. He didn't wrestle in them. But for the most part, he's wrestling, And that's an issue here because you wrestle, you get on top of Chase Hooper. He's got a multitude of ways to reverse you, whether it be going for a heel hook, bunch of stuff to make you turn your back and stuff like that where he wants to latch onto you. He got taken down by Levitt. Levitt was in a good spot. Then you see him go for a heel hook, and all of a sudden he has Levitt's back with a rear naked choke, and Levitt's like, what just hit me? Right? So I feel like this line's way too wide, but I also feel like Lance Gibson is gonna grapple, and I think that's bad. I really believe that. I'm not saying it's bad, like he cannot get on top of him and stuff. He can get on top of him whenever he wants to. It's the fact that once he gets on top of him is where it gets dicey, right? I'm just gonna go with Hooper sub at 215. I know this guy's never been sub before. He does jiu-jitsu. I don't think he's a fish on the ground, but we've seen Chase Hooper make very good grapplers look stupid on the ground. I mean, Jordan Levitt is a very good grappler. He looked like a complete clown on the ground with him on top, So Chase Hooper is super, super dangerous when the fight hits the mat. And he's got a variety of ways to get a sub. He's got calf slicers. He's got arm bars. He got darces. He's got all types of heel hooks. He's got all types of submissions to his disposal. If anybody can pull up on MGM, if you have it, honestly, if heel hook is good, I would play it on MGM. If there's an exact method on heel hook for Chase Hooper, I would take it because I think this guy's going to get on top, and then Chase is going to probably attack a heel hook at some point. So, yeah, I'm just going to go Chase sub 215, but I mean, I would not play this money line, man. I really wouldn't. I don't care. I know a lot of sharp people are on Hooper, and they're driving this line to 350, but there's no way I could play this guy at this price. Tim?
Yeah, if you told me that Lance Gibson wasn't going to grapple at all in this fight and it was just going to strike with him, I would definitely bet his money line, and I would bet his decision, maybe even like small, like super small stabs at his KO. But I just, like you said, there's too much tape on this guy grappling in almost every single fight, and I just think that this is going to be him making a mistake at some point, even making a mistake grappling, like even making a mistake in the clinch and allowing him to get his back taken there. Yeah, I kind of think he makes a mistake later on as the fight. Maybe he fights smart for a round, and then Chase gets his game off in round 2 and round 3. So I like the sub, and I like round 2 and round 3 plus 550 plus 900. Like the sub as well.
All right. Let's see what we have here. Lance looks juiced. Yeah, he's always jacked. He's always in very good shape. Honestly, he's in good shape. Does Hoop has man strength yet? I mean, he's not going to be stronger than Gibson. I doubt it. Is Gibson a black belt? I couldn't find anything on his belt. I know he's been grappling for a long time. He does a lot of no-gi stuff, so I'm assuming he just doesn't do gi, so you're not going to really get a belt if you don't do gi. And I haven't really seen him do gi stuff on his Instagram, so I'm not really sure. What, he trains in his dad's gym. You got Julie Budd there. So I don't know how good his jiu-jitsu is, honestly, as far as like belt wise. Can we trust Gibson's fight IQ, fellows, to not put himself in a bullshit sub? That's literally, I think, the entire fight. Is he going to grapple, or is he going to break to pressure? Like, because of the pressure, he's going to go and do and shoot for a takedown. Is he going to do stuff like that? I don't think that's smart. All right, let's move on. Fight number 7, right? It's in the lightweight division. It is the 22-6 Tofik Musayev versus the 17-6 Ignacio Bahamondes, and currently Ignacio Bahamondes minus 310, and the comeback on Tofik Musayev plus 260. Tim, what do you think here? We got Musayev, the 36-year-old, taking on the short notice Ignacio Bahamondes.
I think this is a good fight. You got two guys that are going to go after each other. Musayev's got some massive power. Bahamondes is it seems like his kryptonite is these short kings, dude. These guys that are stocky and don't have the reach and height advantage at all on him, and he's just way bigger than Musayev. So part of me is a little bit reluctant on that, but the defense on Bahamondes scares me too. He's got tall man defense, just really doesn't. He's very hittable. So I see a world where, like Musayev could hit him and hurt him. Musayev's kryptonite is a lot against very good grapplers that take him down and shit on him on the ground. I don't think that he's like incapable of grappling himself, but he prefers striking. I think Bahamondes, like, just minute winning is much better. Like he just pumps out way more volume. He's going to use a lot of shots straight down the pipe and just like front kicks and teeps and knees up the middle, things like that. If anybody's grappling in this fight, I would be surprised if Bahamondes shoots the takedown, but I think that he's going to defend with front chokes and things like that if Musayev does try to take him down at all. I think he's, if you see the Fiziev fight versus Bahamondes, if you're Musayev, then you're thinking, Fiziev's not a grappler and he's getting takedowns pretty much at ease. So maybe he thinks that he has that as a way to win as well. And I think if he does that, I think he's potentially going to get front choked in this fight. But I'm going to go with Bahamondes by decision at plus 310. I think he's going to outpoint him and just land more volume and have to just take a couple big shots. And outside of that, I think he's going to probably 1.5 or 2 to 1 on volume here. So I like the Bahamondes by decision at plus 310.
Yeah, I mean, this is one where I was going back and forth, but after I did more tape, like just kind of dug in a little bit deeper, and I'm like, yeah, let's see what's going on with this Tofik guy. One thing that stuck out is he's got only one fight in the last almost 3 years, right? And that was the Orlabai one where he got subbed right away, which basically ragdolled. They were up a weight class. Kind of not fair to him, honestly, up a weight class, UFC debut. But like one thing that really stuck out in that fight, Tim, I swear to God, like 3 minutes into that fight, this guy was gassed. He was like huffing and puffing like really, really bad. In his hometown, in his country, he fought, by the way. This was a home country fight that he fought in. He just looked like he was gassed. You know, it could have been the 2-year layoff. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate why, but it also could be that this guy's fucking 36 years old. You know, he's got a decent amount of fights. You know, and historically in his fights on Ryzen, he's looked good. His cardio's looked fine. I don't think it's looked bad. But and I think he's even been 5 rounds long time ago, I believe. Maybe it was 3 or I don't remember. But my point is that I didn't really like his cardio look against Orlabai. And I know Orlabai grapples and stuff, but Ignacio is gonna throw a lot of volume. Ignacio has very, very good cardio. We know that. He can throw for 3 rounds, no problem, right? And he's long. He hits decently hard. I mean, he's not some big hitter or anything, but he's got those long kicks, long shots. He's much bigger here. Did you see the face-offs? How much bigger Bahamondes was? I agree with you with the sub. I think it could happen, like club and sub. Tofik breaking under pressure, you know, a lot of volume, stuff like that. Tofik to me is like, he's a good striker, but he doesn't throw volume at all. It's explode into 1-2 shots and move away. Explode into 1-2 shots and move away, right? Ignacio is going to be in his face, pressuring, you know, throwing shots. So I like his 2-3, honestly, on Ignacio. 500, 800. They're not the best, but I'm going to give my whisper bets, Tim. Sub 2 plus 1,700, sub 3 plus 2,500. I predict Ignacio starts getting to him, starts landing on him. Tofik is going to shoot. I've seen him shoot before, by the way. He will wrestle. He does wrestle to break pressure. He's going to shoot, and he's going to shoot into a front choke. And even Ignacio said, in his interview, he said, I know what this guy is going to do. He goes, I'm going to keep pressing him. I'm going to throw volume, and I know he's going to eventually grapple me. And once he grapples me, I'm going to sub this guy. I don't think he's good in the jiu-jitsu realm. That's what he said. So I'm going to go with my buddy Ignacio here, getting a sub. That's what he said he's going to do, and I believe him. So sub 2-3. Yeah, big numbers. Let's move on. Next fight, it is in the lightweight division. It is the 17-6-1 Kyle Nelson versus the 17-8 Terrence McKinney. Currently, McKinney, actually, price has ballooned, by the way. I just wrote this in the, oh, never mind. It's back down. Minus 180. And the comeback on Nelson at plus 155. I will kick this one off. I'm going straight up McKinney KO, plus 180. I think he's going to overwhelm Kyle Nelson. This is a step down for McKinney, in my opinion. Big step down. I don't really rate Kyle Nelson. I don't think he's very durable. We saw an aggressive guy like Steve Garcia. Once he got on bottom, this guy just got pelted. The same shit can happen here. Terrence McKinney, if it wasn't Chris Duncan last time, if put that same body, that same fight, and put Kyle Nelson's body into Chris Duncan's last fight, and he gets KO'd like 100 out of 100 times. So give me Terrence McKinney KO here, plus 180. He's been saying he's going to take his time. I don't believe him for the most part, but Terrence McKinney's just a way better fighter, man. Way, way better fighter, more athletic, stronger, bigger, you name it. So KO plus 180. I know it could be sub. I know I might, get mad at myself, but I'm going to go with KO. Tim?
Yeah, I think McKinney fights are obviously some of the easiest fights to cap ever. Um, do you think he's going to get the KO or sub in round one? And if he's not, then he gets finished in the end of round one or round two. And that's pretty much every single fight that he fights. Even if he tries to not fight with like he's on full rabies mode. So yeah, I'm going McKinney sub is plus 250. I think I think he can get him I think either way, like you said, I think he can KO him, or I think he could take him down and take his back and sub him as well. But I can't not say, if he doesn't get it, that like sub 2 and round 2 for Kyle are like plus 800 and plus 2,700 for sub 2 and plus 800 for round 2. I think you almost have to bet those. Like if it doesn't, he could obviously finish him in the end of round 1. You could maybe look at one of those minute props in the last minute or two in round 1, some those situations. But I think that those are, if you bet round 2 on Kyle Nelson and round 1 McKinney, I think you're winning money in this fight pretty much. So yeah, I lean sub actually. I do think, like you said, I think that the KO is super live, but I'm going to lean sub in this one for McKinney.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it definitely could be. It definitely could be sub. All right, let's move on. Next fight. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 9-3 Yusri Belgaroui versus the 9-0-1 Mansour Abdul-Malik. Mansour Abdul-Malik minus 138. The comeback on Belgaroui at plus 118. Tim, this one's yours.
Interesting stylistic matchup here. I can't wait to see how Mansour comes out to fight this one. He's fought very, very tentatively in certain fights and drawn guys out and started off slow in fights and not really used his grappling and wrestling and physicality in fights. And then other times he does, and he massacres guys. And I think that if he does not grapple really, really hard in this fight, that he's just going to get just jabbed up and kicked all day long. And to me, I think striking, sure, Mansour hits really, really hard, but I think just defensively, Yusri is defensively more sound, defensively more responsible, understands his length, and he has a reach disadvantage in this fight, but I think he's got a speed and technicality advantage in this fight. I think Mansour is going to need to get him down in the middle of the cage, and then if he does that, he could style on him. But I think if he gets him down near the opportunities for Yusri to get up. And then I just think that Mansour's like striking style to me is like he throws these huge bombs, but he like runs head first at dudes. That's why he headbutted Cody Brundage. Like he like goes head first at guys while he's striking. Like I just think that that's the type of thing that's going to set up Belgaroui to just keep hitting him over and over and over. We've seen Malik get hurt in fights as well. And I'm gonna go with round 3 KO or decision for Yusri, plus 1,600, plus 320. I think he could style on him and get him late, especially if Mansour tires out trying to grapple and trying to grapple really, really hard if he doesn't get it. But
It popped up. Tim bugged out again, guys. Sorry. That's the life we live with Tim. He's in and out. I think he's back in again. There he is. All right, go finish.
Yeah, I like the decision more for Yusri, but round 3 KO, I thought it was a huge line. So,
all right. So what's your play officially? What?
I like the points plus 320, and I said I don't hate the round 3 KO for him at plus 1,600.
All right. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go with Yusri 2-3 here, 1,000, 1,400. I just, here's the thing with Yusri. He goes to the body really well. He's got very good teeps. He's got very good calf kicks. All of these things are going to bother Mansour. He's got a very wide stance. He can get calf kicked. He can get teeped. He's not really a very good striker yet. He's still a little green. Does he have wrestling? Sure. Is he explosive? Yes. and he does have power. I'm gonna give him all of that. But from what I've seen from Mansour so far, he doesn't seem to have leveled up at all for me. Like Contender Series to up until his last fight. I mean, there's not much to take from his last fight, but the fight before that against Brundage, he didn't look good. He did not look good against the hand. I mean, the UFC have handpicked guys for him, man. I mean, look at these guys that the UFC have given him, like literally handpicked. Tricoli, Brundage, Klein, Todorovic, like probably 4 of the worst guys in the division. And Todorovic, fine, he looked good. Klein, he didn't look great. He got hurt, obviously, and lost round 1. Brundage, he looked awful. And then Tricoli is who he is, like whatever. But like, this is a very, very big step up for this guy, Mansour. Even in his Dana White Contender Series fight, he did not look good. I feel like he doesn't wear shots well, to be honest. He doesn't take shots well. His pro debut, he got dropped against an 0-3 guy, Cole Jordan. Wes Schultz was getting to him and kind of like hurt him at one point along the fence. Maybe not bad, but just a terrible look to look like that against Wes Schultz. There's no shame in Wes Schultz, but he's a grappler. He's not a striker. So I like Yusri 2-3 here. The KO is 1,100 and like 1,500 or whatever. It's $100 off. I just played him straight, but it's gonna be KO if it's probably knockout. That's the other thing in the clinch, Tim. If Mansour gets in the clinch, let's say, and he can't get a takedown, he's gonna eat a lot of elbows and knees there, bro. Like a lot. I know people are saying, oh, it was Bakoyev, but like Bakoyev looked good prior to that. Everybody, Tim, do you remember when everybody was on the Bakoyev train because Bakoyev was all over the Twitter? He's all over Twitter. People were loving him. He was, doing all this stuff. Oh, Bakoyev. And then all of a sudden now everything I've heard is people shitting on Bakoyev now. It's like, you guys loved him fucking a fight ago. Now he's no good anymore. I think they should give props to Yusri. I think Yusri looked great in that fight. So let's see if Mansour can improve. He definitely can. He's 28. He's at a good gym. He's athletic. He's powerful. But I still think he's very green, and he's going to get touched up, in my opinion, in the striking. Is he going to be able to get the fight to the ground? Potentially. I don't really know. Like, doesn't really have jiu-jitsu. I don't think he has jiu-jitsu. I don't think he's going to be able to control Yusri very easily, So, yeah, 2-3. Don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but yeah, we're kind of on the same thing there. Let's move on. Next fight in the featherweight division. It is the 31-12 Julian Erosa versus the 13-5 Larian Douglas. Currently, Larian Douglas minus 350, and the comeback on Erosa at plus 285. This is KO1 for me, Douglas. Plus 180, small line. But the thing is, Erosa gets cracked in every. I watch so many round ones, Tim. Every fucking round one, this guy's getting cracked. He got wobbled against Costa. Forget about Elkins, but Rodriguez was landing on him in round 1. Fernando Padilla knocked him out in round 1. Alex Caceres knocked him out in round 1. And if you see most of his knockouts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 KO1s he's lost to. And guess what? Larian Douglas hits harder than all of those guys. And I just know that he's going to land a big shot, and Erosa is not going to be able to survive this guy's shots. So, plus 180 round 1. Erosa's too wild. He always does that. He's open to get killed. I know. The thing is, Larian Douglas is patient, right? He's a patient striker, but Erosa is not going to allow him to be patient. So he's going to just probably find the chin early. What do you like?
Yeah, I think that's probably the way that the fight goes, but I have to take my shots on Juicy J taking him to the Juicy J verse in rounds 2 and round 3. He has one of those weird chins. Like if he gets hit more and more and doesn't get finished, then he can take shots. But like if you can catch him early, like you're saying, like that's usually when he's getting knocked out. Douglas to me has shown like wilty kind of moments, like when things don't go his way, like both striking and grappling. So yeah, I think if Julian can survive round 1, which is a big if, I think he could start to put it on him in rounds 2 and rounds 3. They're huge lines, plus 1,200, plus 2,000, could be KO or a choke. So yeah, small steps.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you for taking those. I mean, that's usually what Julian does to a lot of guys, right? Just get hurt and come back and somehow send them into the Juicy J verse, I guess.
Yeah, he performs so much better as a huge dog. Julian does normally. Like these are the types of fights that he somehow wins, and he usually loses when
he's like so washed, man. He's looked so washed like that. I don't remember that fight, not last one, but the one before that against he won round 1 KO. He was getting taken down by Elkin so easily. It's fucking embarrassing. I'm like, dude, this guy looks like he's stuck in mud. What is going on? I remember calling it live in the Discord, and I'm like, what's going on? This guy just like falling over every time. What in the world is going on? So yeah, I mean, he's a little older. He's got a lot of fights, been through so many wars, but yeah, let's move on. Next fight in the welterweight division, 16-10 Nico Price versus the 19-7 Michael Chiesa. Tim, the fight that no one wanted to see. Here you go. You can have it.
Yeah, no one wants to see this fight happen is very, very true, except for Michael Chiesa and his family. Yeah, to me, I think that this is like a kind of like an easy, see the number and go, wow, okay, yes, I understand Chiesa doesn't have any KOs in the UFC, but man, oh man, like that Robbie Lawler fight, I just think that Nico Price has a bunch of kids. I think his wife just had another child since our last breakdown. And like I just think this dude has so many kids that he's willing to take a dive for a big 12, plus 1,200 prop on Chiesa by KO. So yeah, I think that it's the clear path is a takedown and a back take to a choke. But I just got to go KO in this one. Chiesa had Sean Brady hurt striking. He normally is kind of pillow-fisted. He hurt Masvidal in his fight. I just think it's more about not the pillow fist. I think it's more the chin of Nico Price at this point, and him just being knocked out months ago and coming back and having this fight set up for him. Give me Chiesa to win by KO at plus 1,200.
Yeah. I couldn't do it, man. I tried. I looked for it. I'm like, okay, this is the fight you can get. Chiesa has no power, bro. Like zero power. I know Nico just got knocked out, but Veretennikov is so much more dangerous on the feet than a guy like Chiesa. He just doesn't have any power on the feet. He throws with zero power. He looks very awkward on the feet. Like I'm watching him at last fight. Honestly, against Court McGee, it was I know it was unanimous, they said. That's a very close fight, man. He lost round 1. Round 2 was super close. He just didn't look great, man. And like, yeah, Nico looks horrible. Don't get me wrong. The guy is just absolutely toast. But like he still went to decision against Themba, who's to me way more dangerous than even a guy like Chiesa. Even like the Jacoby Smith fight, at least he lasted until like Chiesa to me I just don't see a knockout. He doesn't throw ground and pound. He's all about looking for subs, getting the back. I mean, that's all he's doing is trying to get to your back, right? And it's just this thing. He gets to the back, RNC. So it's sub for me, and it's like minus 115. It's not even the best price, but honestly, I think it's good at a minus 900 Chiesa. Nico's takedown defense has fallen off, but I think even better, like go sub 2-3, because I think when Nico's kind of fresh early, Chiesa probably can't get takedowns easy. But I think as the fight goes on, he probably could get a takedown, and then once he gets to the back and stuff, I think he can sub Nico pretty easy. It's plus 250, sub 2-3. I think that's how I'm going to go here. Again, I mean, I don't want to break this fight down much. It's just a shitty fight. Let's move on. Co-main event of the night. It's in the flyweight division. It is the 16-5-1 Alexa Grasso versus the 15-2 Macy Barber. Macy Barber minus 185 and a comeback on Grasso at plus 160. Tim, I know you took the last one, but this is a lotion fight for you. I got to give it off to you first. There's no way I could take this one first. So you can have it. You can have it. It's all yours. Make sure you put all the mats down, cover up all the walls, whatever you need to do. You know, you might even have to wear one of those fucking hazmat suits potentially.
Yeah. You got the scrubs. I got the scrubs ready.
And then you can cut out the hole wherever you want to cut it out. But yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, I got the paint. I got the paint plastic set up all over the floors for this one, so we're good to go. Obviously a rematch. Macy's a much better fighter than she was. Different trajectories for these fighters, but I still think it's going to be very similar to the last fight, and I just think that there's two props that I would say are very, very, very live and not bad lines. Ends by split was 4-1 the last I saw it on Bet Online, and then Grasso sub is 13-1. I think those are good because Grasso had her chances. I think if Macy does get on top, she was close on the back take and rear naked choke, and she was close on the armbar. I don't think Macy's jiu-jitsu is as good as Grasso's. I think Grasso is pretty dangerous in getting sweeps and getting back takes. Obviously, submitting Valentina, huge. And then I think just striking in general. I think it's the cage push and the physicality for Barber is better than in the first fight. I think that's where she had her most success. I think technically Grasso is a much more technical fighter, much quicker. So I think it could be close standing. And then when you get in the clinch, that's where Macy does her best work. So, I just think it could be super, super close in the end split. And then I think that there is a chance in some type of scramble on the ground that maybe Alexa could get her in a sub. So I don't hate either one of those. How about you?
Yeah. I think the line's too wide, I will say. I just feel like Macy just really doesn't really pull away in these fights for me. Like I asked, she finished Ribas. She looked good. But for the most part, like it's just not an easy stylistic matchup, in my opinion. Yes, she's more physical than Grasso, but Grasso has better jiu-jitsu. Grasso in the striking has much better hands. Barber mixes in the kicks, but Grasso still has the better hands of the two. And albeit, she's lost 2, should have been probably 3 or even 4 in a row because that late round submission against Shevchenko, she was getting kind of losing. But like she didn't look terrible against Silva. Yeah, she lost. Silva's just faster, better striker. But like I know the first fight, Barber was younger and she's improved for sure. I agree with that. But is she improved to be minus 185 in a fight that she lost? And Grasso is a really good fighter, man. Like look at the last fight for Barber against Karine Silva. I mean, Karine Silva dropped down for a heel hook in round 3. And if she doesn't, Karine Silva wins the fight 29-28, right? Instead, she drops down. She ends up on bottom. She loses the fight 29-28, right? Round 1, she had Barber's back the entire round. Then you look at the Andrea Lee fight, which is a couple years ago. She looked awful in that fight, bro. Very, very close fight against an Andrea Lee that's not good, man. Even back then in 23, she was not good. So it's like, outside the Ribas fight, I don't really think she's, she beat Caitlin fine, but Caitlin, that was a retirement fight. She didn't even probably care, I do think she wins just off of getting the takedowns potentially, and the striking is semi-close. I don't like anything here, Tim. I really don't. Even split is like plus 300, I think. I think that's how I would go if I played anything here. I think this is a close fight. 29-28 type of fight a lot of the times. And a lot of the times, some of these rounds are going to be very, very close. So, Let's just go with split here. Let's go with split. Where's fight ends in split? Why can't I? Oh, there it is. 300. Yeah, it's plus 300. Let's go with that. I think it's fine to be split, to be honest. I think it's fine. Yeah, you already went. What am I doing, Tim? What am I doing? All right, guys, before we go on to the main event, hit that like down below. Subscribe to this man's channel. All right. I also did my full breakdown video with picks. It's in my YouTube channel. I did it on Wednesday. So if you want to check that out as well, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, comment. That's all good for algorithms. Please. 352 live viewers here. We got 159 or 53 on YouTube, 199 on X, and we have about maybe 5 or 6 on Rumble. So I appreciate everybody. Even the 4 that are on Rumble, I appreciate you guys. But again, link in the description for my Discord. It's free. For the free portion of it, I did give out a free bet this week. We won a little bit today on ACA and LFA together. I think we were up like 2 units, somewhere in that range for LFA. There's BKFC tomorrow, huge. BKB, which is also bare knuckle, huge. I love those 2 sports. And then we got the UFC, and we got some boxing. We got some boxing bets with one of the best boxing cappers out there in the Discord that gives us plays out. So again, 50% off. Use code Dixon. I put in the link. I don't know if it's here. I'm going to put it in again. There's the link. 50% off. I don't know how many are left. I haven't even checked. But with that being said, Tim, let's move on. Main event of the night. It's in the middleweight division. It is the 15-3 Joe Pyfer versus the 24-5 Israel Adesanya. Adesanya minus 150 and the comeback on Pyfer at plus 130. I will kick this one off. I think stylistically Izzy should win this pretty easy. He's the much better striker. He's faster, still more athletic. You name it. He's, in my opinion, from what I've seen in his last couple of fights, I don't think this guy is washed as far as skill. I think his skill is still there, honestly. I think he looked very good against Imavov early, man. He's landing good shots, looked much faster. Same thing with the Dricus fight. He looked good in that fight, right? But in the last 3 fights, Tim, he's looked awful taking punches. Got dropped by Strickland. In round 4 against Dricus, he just literally ate a punch and turned his back, started running away, stuff you never see from a guy like Adesanya. You know what I'm saying? He crumbles to the ground and just gives up an RNC, like basically gives up in that fight. And then last fight, he gets caught with an overhand, goes down and shells up, and it's over, right? And in all of those fights, Tim, it's always the right hand that lands. Every single time. Overhand right, overhand right, overhand right. And Joe Pyfer's favorite punch is the overhand right. And he hits harder than those guys. He hits harder than Dricus. He hits harder than Imavov. He hits harder than Strickland. And I'm very concerned with Izzy's chin, to be honest. That's what it is here. I know a lot of people say, wait, takedowns. Pyfer can maybe get takedowns. It's not going to be easy. Izzy's takedown defense still looks pretty good to me, right? But his chin looks pretty bad. And now he's facing a guy that hits very, very hard. And I know he's not as technical as Strickland. I know he's not as technical as Imavov. But Dricus is not technical either. And he landed the right hand and pretty much hurt Izzy before he was running away, right? All Joe Pyfer needs is one big right hand, in my opinion. He's going to put Izzy out. I don't think this guy's chin is there anymore. He's 36. He's been through a lot of fights. Forget about just UFC, Tim. Okay? Forget about his 29 MMA fights. How about all the kickboxing fights he had against the top of the top? He's taking punches there, a ton of them too. And now it's being, to me, it's caught up to him. I also don't think, I want to mention this, I don't think Pyfer's cardio is bad. I feel like in that 5-round fight against Hermanson, it was more his calf that was toast, more so than his cardio. Now, to that point, Israel can also probably potentially toast Pyfer's calf here because Izzy has very, very good calf kicks, right? Better, I would say much better than Hermanson's, right? So that also could be a thing where Izzy destroys the lead leg. Now Pyfer's a sitting target, and being a sitting target against Izzy is much worse than being a sitting target against Hermanson, right? So that could also be the case, but I'm gonna go with my gut. My gut tells me Izzy's chin is gone, and I think Pyfer is gonna get a knockout here at plus 300. I feel like he's gonna just land one shot, and Izzy's gonna be out. He's gonna go down and out. So, yeah, Joe Pyfer by KO plus 300. I kind of think I know where you're gonna go, but floor is yours now.
I'm interested. What do you think I'm going to say? I'm just curious.
3, 4, 5 Izzy.
100%. Yeah. I just think the same thing when I was nodding when you said it. Like, I just think that he could do the same type of game plan. And I think he's a smart fighter, watching the Hermanson fight. And just, I just think that he could eat him up with the leg kicks and then just immobilize him and then just piece the living shit out of him. Like you said, I mean, I don't disagree. I think Izzy's defense and ability to get hit the way his defense has just gotten, he's just slower, and his reactions to punches has just gotten worse at this age. And that happens to literally everybody. I mean, like, Father Time is undefeated, but I just think skill wise, and I think he needs to stay away from him early in these first couple rounds, and then I think he starts to get his game off once he starts to immobilize him and have a sitting duck there and a target that's just not able to move as much. The Jack Hermanson fight, like, I just think in those same situations, I think 3, 4, 5 is going to be very live for Izzy.
All right, Lambo parlay time, Tim. All right, I'm gonna give mine. I got a twofold kind of one. I'm gonna go with Hooper sub, Fortune KO, McKinney KO, 20-1. Add Larion Douglas KO and Stirling KO, and you get 54-1. What do you got, Tim?
Like it. I have Chase 2-3 and Thainara 2-3.
So Chase Hooper,
2-3,
2-3,
Thainara 2-3.
Mix and match. I like that. All right. We went through everything. We went quick today. 1 hour, 22 minutes. It's kind of fast. I appreciate all 400 people in here. You guys rock. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all the support here. Please, if you're not a sub, please sub to the channel. Just click that one little button and subscribe. I appreciate everybody again, per usual. Thank you to all the support. Good luck tomorrow. I hope you guys crush it. And let's cash those tickets for UFC Seattle.